Hey everyone, Livy here, back with another video. And today we are finally continuing our discussion of the court cards with the pages. If you've been following along, right, in my last video of this series, I went into a general overview of the court cards, some of the history, etc. So I'm not going to wax poetics on that today. If you really want to do this in order, I might, if I remember, I'm going to put it in the card somewhere up there. Otherwise, I'll link it down below with that first video. So all I'm going to remind us of today, since we're talking about the pages, right, is that when it comes to the pages, first and foremost, we know that their main elemental alignment at this point in time now is Earth. And they have been more traditionally seen as either those who are young or young at heart. They were kind of the messenger errand peoples of the castle court system. They also, if I haven't already mentioned this, mirror the aces of their suits, which means that like all that energy that the aces kind of have or promise becomes like actuality in the pages. Like it starts, right? The process. So if you're also coming off of that like intro video, you also know that I assigned keywords or archetypes to each court so that they will be easier to understand. So today I'm going to dive into each of the 4 pages and explain who they are, right? Using not only tarot examples from decks that I own, but actual character examples, because like I also explained that last video, the courts unfolded easier for me due to the fact that I related them in terms of character study. So if I'm going to say that, right, we should have some actual characters to examine and why, right? So that'll be a common theme throughout the rest of at least the next next 3 and this video, okay? So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, we're going to start today with the Page of Wands, okay, which elementally is both earth and fire. And the key word I also assigned to it is the spark. And I want to explain a bit more on this, okay? And I'm using, actually, this is the Page of Wands from the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, because this is kind of like, when I was learning tarot, this was my first tarot deck. This is like the image that still sticks in my head when I think of the Page of Wands, okay? So I'm going to show this a little bit as I talk, just so we have some other visual, right? Anyways, moving on. Generally, this card is about the spark of an idea coming to life and the optimism that surrounds that idea, right? It's about being excited and the energy of the fire, right? To also see things through. You're very young and fresh-eyed and optimistic when it comes to this idea. So when we think about Pages of Wands and we're applying it more to people, the Page of Wands is somebody who is optimistic, maybe even has that fiery side, and is kind of like on the beginning of a journey of some kind, right? Whether that's like creatively or with another, kind of life endeavor. Because again, the wands are also about energy output. Some also say sexuality, but I don't see it as much for that. But anyways, going into this, the main reason that they are the spark for me is because it's them that starts it all. It starts the whole wand court idea, right? They are the spark. If it wasn't for pages, nothing would come to be. If they don't light the match, then you don't get anything coming forward. You could also say, right, another keyword for this archetype is kind of the catalyst too, because if they didn't have that drive or that eagerness to try, right, it doesn't begin. It doesn't happen. So this is still one of my favorite Page of Wands. I think this embodies it well, right? It's very simple, but it gives off that idea. But in this stack, I also have some Pages of Wands that I think kind of work. I'll try to rush through some of these because, as you can see, it's like hella. There's so many. But this is like the central one. I think this Page of Wands from the Line Strider Tarot actually does a good job of this too. Like showing some of those ideas, because you can see here like the dragon on the side. That's also like that spark idea. This Page of Wands is ready and eager to learn. This is from the Northern Animal Tarot 3rd edition. But they are ready. They are eager. They're ready to start. They're ready to go on that journey and try. This is also a good example from the Monsoon Tarot, the full size, because I also have the mini. They are the spark. They are literally setting the match ablaze to start things off, right? This Page of Wands from Tarot of the Divine, also a good one in my opinion. I can't remember fully the stuff with the story, but as you can see of this page, she's ready to start. She's ready to go off. She's energetic and she's fiery, and you can see it immediately in her expression, right? This is what you want, by the way, when you are looking for tarot decks to have good courts. Facial expression in the character designs is everything. If they don't have that, it's going to be very hard to understand the cards when you look at them. This one for me does a great job of showing that energy, okay? Another one, this is the Page of Wands from the White Sage Tarot. I just think this one is so dapper and cute, but there's just this eagerness and this little cute little kestrel that's like, yeah, I'm ready. I like that one. This one from the gold edition of the Little Fur is also good, just for showing that spark, you know, the beginning idea. This one, Dungeons and Dragons Tarot is weird for, well, they call it the Page of Strength in that one. It's kind of just weird in its system. Anyways, I love this Page of Strength from the deck, because this one is showing how, for the pages, right, a lot of their eagerness doesn't always have to be fiery. It's more of showing that creativity. I like this one because it shows the creativity. This is a goblin chef. And they are learning and they are making so many things in their effort to try to get better at their craft. So I really like that one, just showing the creative side. Oh, I'm going to save this one. Give me a second. I'll go back to that one. This is from the Tildwyk Tarot. This page of, well, they call it the Page of Staves. This works for me for showing just the energy vibes. You get the earth and you get the fire. It's more about the mood of the page than actually showing a page. Although, if people don't know this about the Tildwyk, you can see the faces are in there. They're just like very small, kind of creepy, but you can see the face there. And when you can see the face, you do see this eagerness in it to learn and to grow and to try. This more has the vibes though. This, if you're looking for more energy, this is the energy. It's earth of fire, right? Page of Staves. This is from Stella's Tarot. Sorry, this one is out of print, but this deck is kind of weird. It's a hybrid. It has like Thoth leanings and Tarot de Marseille, but then it also has RWS. But when it comes to the courts, they refer to the pages as princess. I just think this shows a good idea of the spark, the beginning of the idea. That's why I included the image of it. This is one of my favorite pages. Even though I don't use this deck much, this is one of my favorite representations of the Page of Wands. This is from the Herb Crafters Tarot, and it is referred to as a Iha of Fire. This is a great Page of Wands because it shows this Page of Wands kind of, in my mind, also is very much linked to the Page of, what am I blanking? The Page of Pentacles, in a sense that you can see that they're eager and they're excited and they're trying new things. And so to do that, there is some methodology of study. But I would say the biggest distinction for those who, because especially when I talk about the Page of Pentacles soon, is what makes the difference between the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles is that Page of Wands is more invested in the process It's not like they want to study and try things, but they learn best by doing. Okay. Versus the other page that you're going to see, which is more by study. But this is a great example of like trying again and again and going through things, which is why I included it. This is from the Practical Magic Tarot. This page of wands I just find interesting because the key word in this is experimenter. I mean, I said the spark, but you know, this does have some interesting points of the page of wands are not afraid to trial and error. Again, kind of relates to this, right? So experimenter can work for that. This page of wands from the Dream Vision. Wait, Dream Vision? Am I saying the name right? Why is my mind blanking on that? Anyways, from this deck, if you know what I'm talking about, this is the second edition of it. I just like this page of wands because it shows like the warmth, the optimism, the start of something. You kind of get that spark idea still because of the circle around the tip of the wand. This is just a nice one. I like that one. This page of wand also shows eagerness, right? This is from the Starseeker Tarot, the Pocket Edition. Very eager page of wand. They're up. Their hands are up. They're ready to begin. They got their wand. They're ready to start their journey. It's a good one. It's simple. Same kind of goes for this page of wands, right? Their spark. They're ready to start. So they've got their little companion. This is from the Paulina Tarot. Still works for me, though. This is also a good one. A lot of these, again, it's just about, like, recognizing that they have the spark of an idea. I'm trying to see if... Here, let me try to find ones that show more of that eagerness, that optimism, putting that all at once before I talk about like the really interesting ones. Common things you'll see with the pages. The salamander aesthetic goes more for like animal-ish based decks, right? Anima Mundi and Spacious Tarot. Eagerness, shown Guided Hand and Terra Nova. Even... Oh, and this one too, I guess. This just has like a nice aesthetic. This is from the Forager's Daughter. This one has the actual keywords though. This is from the 5 Cent Tarot of initiative, right? Discovery, exploration. That's why I included this one. There are a lot of good keywords for the quartz in this deck, by the way. And then... I like these two for also showing some different ones. So Page of Wands from the Shadowscapes Tarot is really good just because it shows that creativity again. The trial and error process is starting. And this is the Everyday Witch. I like this one because it shows the spark, but also shows that they're about to start off on a journey. Very cool. This is the mini Everyday Witch. And this is the mini Darkwood Tarot. By the way, you're going to see a lot of the quartz from the Darkwood Tarot because I think they're really good. This Page of Wands does it for me. They have the spark of the idea. They're lighting things up. And something about their facial, they have really good facial expressions in this deck that lend well to understanding the quartz. This is a character that you see is ready and eager to start something, to go off on an adventure. This is a character you want to know more about. Right? Just something in the facials really does it for me. Darkwood Tarot has really good quartz. You're going to see a lot of them as I talk about this. But these are all... Oh, and this one. Let's go back to this one. The reason why I put this aside, this is from the Disney Villains Tarot. The reason why I wanted to put this one aside for pages is because Iago, okay? This is from Aladdin. Really good page of wands. What I noticed about this deck, and you're also going to see more of the core cards from this deck shown in the series because this deck in general is very fascinating when it comes to tarot. This shows more of the shadow side of the Page of Wands. I talked about the good things about the page, the optimism, the spark of the idea, the go, 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 wants to begin, just wants to start, do it, put it into action. Iago kind of shows that more shadowy side though, because Iago is very eager to begin, But he, if you remember, is on kind of the, not necessarily the wrong side, but he's like on the villain side of things. But he does have that same energy of, he's very gung-ho, he wants to start, kind of quippy. He, he plans, he plots, he tries his things. And sometimes that's what the page can go into, though, is like sometimes that eagerness can mess up on you. And Iago is a really good and interesting choice for that. But now that we've seen some tarot examples, by the way, I do want to explain character examples, okay? Let's apply it to characters. So, I know, I did this like very analog. Listen, it is what it is. Okay, we're going to start with the first page here, okay? The first that came to mind for me when I was thinking of Pages of Wands is Ahsoka Tano from the Star Wars universe, okay? Now, this applies more to her character at the start of the Clone Wars show, hence why I have this image of her, right? Because I do think she changes a lot by the end, and even by the time that she gets her own show, right? The Disney Plus show of Ahsoka, right? She's very different by then. And that's because she's had to grow a lot and she became an adult by then, right? But Ahsoka at the beginning is very, very much that Page of Wands energy. She's spunky, she's snappy, she's eager to prove herself as a Padawan of Anakin Skywalker. So if you don't know that, sorry, spoilers, she is. But the Clone Wars show, to be fair, it's been around a long time, so you can look this up. She was the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker. She could have possibly, in my opinion, also gone in Page of Swords. But the reason I think that she's more wands and why it's more appropriate for her is because she very much follows her own path, her own emotions, and her energy in making decisions, especially in the beginning. So Pages of Swords, right, they tend to follow more logic. In the very beginning of the show, she kind of follows more impulse. And for that reason, she is more a Page of Wands, in my opinion. But one of my favorite characters ever, 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 ever. Love her. Love her so much. But next up, in this lineup, we have Eragon from the Inheritance Cycle, who, for me, kind of falls more in line with Ahsoka as being at the start of his journey, being thrust into a position of having to prove himself. She very much does too, because she's a Padawan. She has to prove that she can make it as a Jedi. He kind of has that same vibe, except it's applied to, of course, becoming a Dragon Rider. This is, by the way, from the cover of, I guess there's going to be an illustrated version of Eragon. So I figured the best way to show his character is to actually, have this kind of image, because I goddamn did not want to show the image from the frickin' movie that I wish never existed. But anyways, Eragon, he is eager, he is active, and he tries his best to take it all in stride, right? He's very much thrust into the position of being a Dragon Rider. It was not necessarily his choice, especially what I remember of the books. I actually really, really need to reread these, but yeah. What I remember, he's very much a Page of Wands. He is someone similarly who's just like, he's ready. He is more active, but he's very much in the beginning of the series at that student role, which a lot of pages you can argue are, even though I only assigned a Page of Pentacles as a student. But yeah, he has that kind of vibe, so that's why he's a Page to me. And someone similarly ready to have a good time, ready to go out, ready to learn, ready to try. I don't think everybody's going to recognize this character. That's okay. This is September from the Fairyland series. This is a middle grade book. I've talked about this book when I was talking about books I recommend for people who like the tarot, the Wonderworld Tarot. Fairyland, okay? She for sure for me embodies that page energy of trial and error, but excited to explore specifically all of Fairyland and what it has to offer for her. She's also someone who learns by doing, which I think is a hallmark, again, of the pages. So it's harder to explain her character if you haven't seen or haven't read the book, but she is very active. So and the Page of Wands, by the way, are the most active, I think, of all the pages. So makes sense for this lineup. But okay, let's move on. I'm going to take this away because we're going to go into the Pages of Pentacles now. Okay, Page of Pentacles. Elementally, oops, sorry. Let me get the rest of these. Okay, elementally, Page of Pentacles is the Earth of Earth, the most grounded in terms of all the court. Okay, the most grounded. I was trying to see, sorry, I do have, no, oh, I did not include from, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to leave these to the side. Okay. Earth of Earth, most grounded in terms of all the court. And the key word I've given the Page of Pentacles is actually, we'll use this one because this is the best example, is the student. Okay. And this is mostly because this is the page that is the most studious and in search of knowledge than the other pages. This is not to say that the other pages are not ready and eager to learn. They are just the ones that are doing this mostly by actual study. By the way, this is the Page of Pentacles from the Northern Animal Tarot, 3rd edition. All the other editions actually have this page, but I'm just saying it because I have this edition. This is very much the Page of Pentacles. This is a great Page of Pentacles when it comes to tarot, right? Like all the pages, there is this eagerness about them, but it's really that hunger for knowledge that they could, and the sense in them that they can one day master anything that they put their mind to, which is what I think a Page of Pentacles really is about. They genuinely want to put in the work to be better and to improve, and they do this best by gaining knowledge, right? Reading, trying their best. This is really, to me, what I feel like the Page of Pentacles is. So tarot-wise, right, this is a great Page of Pentacles. Here's some other cards I think that kind of play into this energy or do it to me in an interesting way. We have, once again from the Monsoon Tarot, this is the Page of Earth from that deck. This is showing it in a different way. You still see their need to study. There is still a book. But they are also using that to try their best to be the best maid that they are, right? Very practical, earthy, has to do the work, right? Do the work. Actually try. I really like this one. I thought this was really interesting. This is from the Literary Tarot. This page of parchment is showing Romeo and Juliet. And you know what's funny is that I would actually put Romeo more as a Knight of Cups in my opinion. But this card works in its explanation of saying this is the Page of Parchment because he's eager to try and to learn and to better understand Juliet. Just wanted to put that out there because it's an interesting example. This Page of Pentacles is just very cute to me. This is again from the White Sage Tarot, but I like the energy it embodies. This elephants are incredibly intelligent and eager to learn and do things too. So I thought this was a nice page. We'll reserve that one. I'll talk about that again at the end. This also just gives Page of Coins vibes. It's very earthy, grounded. Even their face, when you can see it, is it has a slight smile, but you can also tell it's more serious. They're more practical. They're ready. This is more for vibes. Once again, from Stella's Tarot, Princess of Discs. Just kind of gives off that ready and eager, like they're going to be learning. Iha of Earth, once again from Earth Crafter. I do like this one though because, again, this is showing the side of the Page of Pentacles that kind of goes and ties into the Page of Wands, but they are learning their craft of being knowledgeable in the ways of the earth, and they're doing it by doing. So I really like that one. This Page of Pentacles is once again also from the Practical Magic Tarot. I find this one really interesting because the key word surrounding it is the responsible observer. You could also make that because you are a student in that way. You are studying by watching other people. This works for me. Pretty good courts also in this deck, so you're going to be seeing more of them. Same Page of Pentacles. This just has like the eagerness vibe to me, the greenery. So I always look for that too, if it actually follows its stuff. This is very much like the Northern Animal Tarot, Page of Pentacles, but I love it because once again, they are studying. They are learning their craft. This is from the Starseeker Tarot. Like, they are learning, they are trying. This is what you want to see when you look for pages and pentacles and tarot. This Page of Pentacles is also interesting to me because I feel like they are someone who is young and eager to learn. They are observing their sleeping dragon, gaining knowledge, you know, the owl, symbol of wisdom. For a lot of cultures, not all, but that too. I like that one. This page is also learning and trying to make their luck in the world. This is from the Everyday Witch Mini again. They have their map, they're studying, they're ready to go off in their journey. I like this one. This is from, once again, the 5 Cent Tarot. I just like the keywords. There's endeavor in here, manifestation, foundation. Some of the shadow sides that are going to be hinted at is obstructionism, laziness, right? If superficiality, like if you're not even trying. I like the keywords for these. These have good courts. You're going to see a lot of them in this too. This is a Child of Pentacles, very cute and playful. This is more for animal style decks. Tying in with that, I also think that this one from Anima Mundi is very cute and eager to learn. They're both holding things. They're trying to understand the world around them. Cute for animal decks. Then we have these two. This is from the Terra Nova again. I just think this is very spry and eager, and I like the earthly energy here. This Page of Pentacles just has, again, Darkwood Tarot has really good, interesting like imagery on the faces. The faces are very expressive to me. This face, in my mind, shows that this page is really intent on understanding their disc. Or it is a pentacle. It is called pentacle, but I can tell those are like an apple core, but really intent on understanding that. So this works for me. And once again, Disney Villains Tarot. If you've seen The Lion King, you know these three. They are the hyenas that do the bidding of Scar. They are definitely very much that Page of Coins energy because they are ready and eager to go out and try. Also, not necessarily student vibes, you could say, but I like the dark side of them where they're following somebody who's literally just out to like destroy the dynamic of the savannah ecosystem, right? And they don't mind disrupting the system. So this is once again the darker side to the student is that sometimes you will go to very dangerous means to prove yourself. So this shows that shadowy aspect, right? But now that we've seen that in that way, let's go into some characters I think that have this kind of energy, right? The first character that I think is a Page of Pentacles, in my opinion, is Matilda. This is, of course, from the movie, but this is originally a book by Roald Dahl. Her thirst for knowledge and general smarts, in my opinion, are unparalleled, right? And here's the thing with her. While she does have a lot of wit, that could have also put her as a Page of Swords for me, she doesn't have that biting edge to her that the swords can possess. Now, you can argue this because she does do one thing that's kind of like a oopsie. But in my mind, she's more the Page of Pentacles because she's really interested in putting the work in. She wants to be a student. She wants to learn. It's just that she's had a lot of like shitty adults that are not helping her in that journey. But yeah, Page of Pentacles, if I had to think of any character that is really like that, Matilda is one of those that comes to mind for me. Another one, though, that I think is a good Page of Pentacles, this is Callum from Dragon Prince. This is a show on Netflix. He's also a good Page of Pentacles in my mind, given his drive to study magic, right? Specifically, he is a student of magic. And he's also pretty down to earth. He's very practical. and he's most likely to apply logic before engaging in a situation. This is also something I think that is very apparent for pages of Pentacles, by the way. You could say that pages of Swords are also very similar and tied in that way, because it's true, they also follow logic, but these are just realistic, not necessarily like proving that they are better than you. It's just that like realistic. They follow a realistic mindset. He very much does, in my opinion. And in that same vein, you could also say, right, that Dipper Pines from Gravity Falls is also similar in temperament, but his area of focus of being a student is more engaging in straight up magic. It's not so much the straight up magic as the supernatural, sorry. But the principle is still the same. He has this very dogged need to discover all that he can, and he really does not stop until he sees it through. Like, if you've seen the end of Gravity Falls, you know that Dipper really went there. He really tried to learn all that he could about the supernatural, because it was something that fascinated him. And him and Callum have very similar energy vibes, so that's why I showed both of them in that way. And yeah, let's move on though. Okay, onward now to the Page of Swords. Okay, a figure, I think, okay, for me, the Page of Swords was pretty easy to understand and find examples of, because this type of character is often deployed in literature and other media. So let me explain. The key word that I associate with the Page of Swords is the clever, okay? They are someone who is usually seen as very bright, very smart, realistic, and quick in both words or actions. And I like this Page of Swords from the Raven's Prophecy Tarot again, because it shows the wit involved, right? Like, writing is a great way to show off what you know or to prove your point. But you can also see the shadow of the sword, where they can also be harsh, okay? So sometimes their words are harsh, even if it wasn't their intention, but they're not necessarily actively trying to harm others. This is different, of course, than other swords that you will see, but they are very smart and they are eager to show what they know. Also, the clever, okay? But let's examine some good examples of other pages of swords, okay? I'm going to try to go quickly through some of these. Actually, I'm going to put some of these aside and just like expressions on faces more than here. Move that one aside. These just have the vibes of the page, in my opinion. Vibes of page is Tildwyk again. Color scheme. Face that's cute, but also has an edge to it. Ready to do battle. This is a princess from the Stellas. This Iha of air, right? Just ready and eager and trying, but it could also be sharp. This, interestingly enough, this is from the Practical Magic Tarot. This page, as you can see, has been assigned the keyword student. I thought that was kind of funny because I see more the Page of Pentacles as a student, but there is this aspect of the Page of Swords where they also want to prove themselves and their wit and all of that. These are just showing kind of like the eagerness that's involved with the Page of Swords, where they're quick on their feet. They want to prove themselves, very much like the sword in hand, are ready to start. They might still be innocent, baby-faced, but they're out there trying to prove themselves. Again, same with like this Page of Page of Swords from the Ocean Tarot. It's a shark still. They're still sharp, but they're not like the worst shark you can find in the ocean to come and bother you. More animal examples of this. Oh, and this is also another one from Terra Nova that's like very eager, showing the eagerness and the cleverness. These are animal depictions, but I think these are very good. The raven as that wisdom aspect, I really like that. This is from the 5 cent. Again, interesting keywords showing ambition, restlessness, initiative. Whereas on the flip side of that, they can be dishonorable, hasty, right? All talk. Sometimes the Page of Needles, if they're not out there actively trying to prove how clever they are, they can fall into these pitfalls. This Page of Swords just always gets me. He has this like look about him like, oh no, I didn't do that. But very clever and sneaky, will get his way out of things from the guided hand. This one just showing off their own, and like they have this kindness to them. The Page of Swords is the most kind of all the pages. I mean, all the swords, I would say, besides maybe the king. But they just have this like niceness to them. These I also separated. These are just like ones that show that they have a lot of intelligence. Page of Intelligence, going about and learning. They're clever, sneaky kind of faces, or not. I wouldn't say they're necessarily sneaky, but they like got the smirk about them, this confidence. The Pages of Swords have not. This from the Literary Tarot. This is actually a really good page. Also, Page of Quills. They just show that they've got this smarts to them and they're ready to prove themselves. I guess that's the best way of putting all of these together. And especially even this Page of Swords, like quiet confidence in this one. Really like it though. These are tarot examples of swords. As you can see, I had a lot. But I think the easiest way to understand a Page of Swords personally is to see them in those character studies. So a lot of characters that could fall into the sphere of being, you know, a Page of Swords. I'm trying to like do this in a way where like you don't see the other characters. There we go. There we go. Folded it correctly. Okay. A lot of characters can come to mind for me. Literally, there were so many characters. I kind of had to like step back and think. But the first character that kind of came to mind for me when I was thinking of a Page of Swords and how often you see this was Malcolm, right there. Malcolm from the show, Malcolm in the Middle. If you have not seen this show, I'll explain a little bit soon. But I think his character does eventually shift to being either like a knight or Queen of Swords by the end of the show. But in the beginning of the series, he is definitely a page. And for those who haven't seen Malcolm in the Middle, because this show came out in like, I want to say it was the early 2000s is when this came out, or like late 90s, early 2000s when this show came out here in America. Malcolm is a literal boy genius who lives in a very dysfunctional household, as you can see behind some of his household members and the chaos that they cause. And he lives in American suburbia, right? So he has to deal with a lot of those trials and tribulations to survive. He does need to rely on the fact that he is a boy genius. He needs to use his wits to try to avoid trouble that comes his way. And it always happens with varying degrees of success for him, because the trouble most of the time comes from his own family or the people that he knows at school. So he's very, like, the first person that comes to mind for me for Page of Swords is always probably going to be Malcolm. He just had a lot of that energy, especially in the first few seasons of this show. Someone else, though, interestingly for me, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. I realized when I printed these, like some of these images were not coming out very well. But another person who I think falls into the Page of Swords kind of energy for me is Rory Gilmore from Gilmore Girls. Now, I'm going to admit, I never completely finished the series, so I don't know how she, like, comes out. Like, last I was seeing her, I think she was starting to, like, when I was watching the show, I think she was just starting to date, what's his name? It was that second guy. I don't remember his name. But I know he's Milo Ventimiglia, his character, basically. But from what I saw of Gilmore Girls, she gave off classic Paige vibes to me. She's smart, she's bookish, she always has a quick reply to things going on around her, just like her mother. Sometimes she makes mistakes, and sometimes she says things that are not so tactful from what I remember. But she doesn't always mean to create harm with others in her words. She's just trying her best. But for me, she gave off very Page of Swords vibes. Similarly, Merlin. Merlin from the show of the same name also falls into this category, right? At least at the beginning of the series. Again, he also goes through a change. By the end, he's very quick to deliver his judgments, still has a lot to learn, but still follows logic above all things. He's also told he's very bright, and he is. But sometimes he lords this over figures like Arthur in the show. So this is, again, showing kind of the duality with the Page of Swords. Like, sometimes they need to chill the fuck out, like a lot of the swords do. But overall, Merlin has a lot of heart too. So even when he makes like those jabbing blows with words, it's usually because he thinks it's justified, right? It's not always out of malice. Like, the reason why he reacts the way he does to Arthur when he first meets him is because he thinks Arthur needs to be taken down a couple pegs. Like, Arthur is not the hot shit he always thinks he is, you know? So it makes sense for him. And this is what I think also separates a page from the last one kind of in the suit, okay? Which is the Page of Cups. So give me 1 second and then we will get to that one. Okay, last one, finally, right? We've come to our last page. This is the Page of Cups. From an element standpoint, oh, I don't even think I mentioned that for the Page of Swords. Page of Swords, of course, we know is earth and air, but Page of Cups, elementally, right, is both earth and water, which means that a lot of their concerns stem from needing their needs met, right? You need your needs met, but emotionally also with life, right? Out of all the pages and really all of the court cards, I would say that the Page of Cups is the most emotional of them all. And you would think that that would belong to the Queen of Cups, really, for being both water of water. But remember, queens have more life experience to help them rein in their emotions. But the thing is, the pages do not. That is why my keyword for the Page of Cups is the feeler, because they feel everything all at once, as if it's the first time for them. Whether that's happiness, searing anger, or deep depression resulting, often maybe in being labeled crybabies, right? I've heard that expression for like pages before, Page of Cups. They feel things very deeply and they struggle, you know, to navigate situations, right? If not given proper guidance. But above all, too, you know, the Page of Cups embodies that childlike curiosity and wonder for the world around them. And they still hold that shiny pearl of optimism in their hands. And that's why some of these are great tarot cards. So this Page of Cups from the Lion Strider Tarot is one of my favorites because it shows the Alice-like figure. This is very much supposed to be showing like Alice of Alice in Wonderland. Alice, you will also see, I'm going to mention straight up, spoiler alert, is a character that I think very much embodies the Page of Cups energy. Very much so. These are some more. By the way, the Pages of Cups have so many cards that were actually very good examples. These are some from tarot if you want to quickly look at them. I also want to point out the Page of Cups keywords from the 5-cent tarot because they have good ones. That curiosity, the possibilities, and imagination. Sometimes, though, it results in envy, immaturity, even irresponsibility. Sometimes that's the more shadowy sides of the pages. I'm going to show even more. There are so many pages. Like, that's the thing. There are so many actually really good Pages of Cups for just having that youthful optimism, that like spark and wonder and curiosity. Beautiful Page of Cups, by the way, from the Dream Vision Tarot. Beautiful Dreamer. See, same thing, idea. This is once again from Practical Magic. This cute little Iha of Water, right? There are so many good, even this one from the Stellar Tarot. This is probably my favorite of them, though. Like the beauty in this card and the emotions and the water interplay. This is just such a good Page of Cups. Ooh, I will get to me, but hang on. Just vibes of Page. Like, there are so many good examples. Like, look at this cute Page of Cups from the Starseeker Tarot, because you can see the Little Mermaid in the background. They're just so excited. This page, it's excited to learn. This one has literally created a cute, watery little girl from the monsoon. This one showing all the potential and possibilities. Just a cutie. You know, like so many. And this one shows the more volatile crybaby face. This is, once again, from Lilith Tarot. The wisdom involved. So many good examples of Page of Cups. A lot of tarot decks understand this energy, which I find really fascinating compared to some other decks that don't as much. Oh, I also want to highlight this Page of Cups. This is from the Everyday Witch Tarot. And the reason why I want to highlight it is because the pages, which kind of go in with the wands too, they learn by doing, and they show off a lot of creativity, which also ties into Page of Wands. But I like this one because it's a little artist, and I think that's like a really great way to show how those feelings and emotions can be expressed in a constructive way. So I really like this one. And then let's talk about Smee. Once again, from the Disney Villains Tarot. I think Smee is a really good Page of Cups because he's the most optimistic and sweet out of all of Captain Hook's crew. He is so eager to prove himself, but he has a lot of emotions. Sometimes he's very scared. Sometimes he's very jolly. Sometimes he's very sneaky, or sometimes he's very, very, very afraid of Captain Hook and the things that he can do. This definitely shows the range of emotions that a Page of Cups can have, so I wanted to highlight him most of all. But as you can see, there are a lot of great tarot examples of Pages of Cups. A lot. Like too many for me to go too much over, because I really want to talk about the characters that follow this Page of Cups mentality, okay? So, first one in my mind. We will talk about her. She's definitely the biggest of them all, but we're going to start with her. If you guys don't know who this is, we will start with Alice, sorry. Alice from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. She is 100% a Page of Cups. From literal media, from, books, from her renditions, like this Disney rendition, Alice. This is the biggest Page of Cups you will ever frickin' meet. I'm sorry, but there is no other way to really sugarcoat that. She is the biggest Page of Cups ever. She doesn't need too much explaining, but her curiosity and kind of volatile emotions are evident throughout her narrative. She's a crybaby at times. Like, she's just very confused and struggling and trying to interpret the world around her. She is very much the Page of Cups, okay? But I also wanted to talk really, really quick to, well, not really quick, because there's a lot you can say about her. This is Lucy Penvency from the Chronicles of Narnia. And she is another Page of Cups for having those strong emotions, and sometimes even, you could say, blind optimism as this series goes on. This is her, of course, from the movie version, but I have read all the books, and she pretty much still keeps up this Page of Cups energy. And I say that because she's very firmly, right, a page. And doesn't really change much throughout the series, but that's not a bad thing, right? Just because you age, it also doesn't mean that your tarot alignment has to either, because for her, it just shows that she kept her youth and faith in all things. She doesn't really, in my opinion, even though she becomes like a queen of Narnia or whatever, she stays for me very much that Page of Cups energy because of her optimism, her youth, and her faith, right? This is also why she's allowed to be in Narnia as long as she has. And she has the deepest connection to Aslan. So she also very much kind of follows in like Alice's path, but she is very much that Page of Cups energy. And finally, in the middle here, someone else who I thought was very much a Page of Cups that came to mind for me was Chucky from Rugrats. I don't know how, this is like a throwback. I don't know how many people remember Rugrats, but you can argue too, by the way, that Chucky's strong emotions and kind of crybaby attitude is really just because he's a literal baby. Like, I think he's like 2 years old or something in the show. But when you remember that the whole cast of the show are babies, it's kind of apparent, like, his difference, right? Like, besides being deep in his feelings throughout most of the show, he's also the most intuitive and ready to recognize his feelings, which is a strong Cup's trait, right? Also, and strong Cup's domain. And for that reason, he is a Page of Cups, despite, like, because the other babies, like, if I really had to sit here and think about them, like, Tommy, for instance, would be definitely that Page of Wands, or even, like, Knight of Wands attitude. The twins actually have that Knight of Wands feeling to them. So, you know, he's very much just that Page of Cups for me, and it works. Yeah. This was a long video. I did not expect it to end up this long. But if you've watched this long, thank you for watching. I hope having these characters to help you get a sense of who the pages are helps you. And by the way, this whole list is not even an exhaustive list. I could have included so many more characters into this to explain the pages, but these ones were simply the first that came to mind. But I hope this helps you in understanding the pages very, very much so. And next time I do this, we are getting into the Knights, and I will definitely have a lot more to say, so just stick around, and I hope this helps you. But for now, I'm going to head out, and I will see you all again next time. Bye!